lion's share of the energy within the downtown project. Outside of DTP Ventures, we also have a bunch of real estate strategists that are helping with the 60 acres of land and buildings that the downtown project owns. And also the Airstream Park, which I'm not sure if you need to look on. The Airstream Park is where Tony lives. It's a collection of airstreams and these tiny little houses called tumbleweeds. It's really cool. That's next to the bunkhouse. Also outside of DTP Ventures is a partnership we have with Justin Manager and Ryan Doherty, which operate the bunkhouse, which is a local music venue, the Wheelhouse, a restaurant called Itsy Bitsy, and also Life is Beautiful, and First Friday is a festival that happens every month. Life is Beautiful. It's a huge thing that happens once a year, and then lots of little things that happen during the year. But that's a combination of music, art, food, and learning, which is also really cool. So, downtown project, big entity. DTP Ventures is an entity within that, and then we have these other things outside of that under this umbrella. So before we jump into the workshop today, I just wondered if anyone had any questions about the downtown project, because also here I have Rebecca, just sitting there. Rebecca's in our DTP Ventures team. Sorry, question.
Where is DTP in the process of making these investments? How much more do you look into Rowland Actualizer some of the things that you've done?
So right now we've made tons of investments, and our main focus right now is helping all the companies that we have already invested in. But there is still some capacity to do new stuff with new people, new teams. But the majority of the new investments has already happened. Now it's a case of just helping all the businesses that we have. We have 165 businesses that we've invested in one way or the other, which is a lot. So we're helping all those 165. But then there is still a little bit of money still for new businesses, and there's money still for reinvestment in the businesses that we've already invested in. So for example, a lot of you know QA State Grassroots, so that's some great juice bars, fantastic. They put a lot of energy into it, it's a great product. You know, they may want to open three more locations in Las Vegas, so we can help them to open those other 3 locations in Las Vegas.
I have a follow-up to that. Of those 65 businesses, 165, how many of those are still stable? Just because I know that some people came and gone, and how many of them are still working?
The majority.
Good.
I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but yeah,
Okay.
the majority. Not all of them are in Las Vegas, by the way, as well. The Vegas Tech Fund, a lot of them, Georgia, I mean, I don't know what the stat is now, but it's like 75%. Yeah, 75% of our tech investments are not physically, geographically inside Las Vegas, they're all over the country.
On the internet.
From a macro strategic view, how are you guys going to define success of DTP?
Well, from my measure, it's a community that's actualized. That's why I gave myself that job title. So what I mean by that is that you would be able to walk around the streets of this part of downtown Las Vegas, which we call Fremont East, and instead of seeing vacant blocks of land and empty buildings, you'll see a vibrant community with lots of people smiling, lots of businesses around them. And all the business, all the land and the buildings that we own to actually be populated, do businesses with people. So that would be my definition of success. In some cities it takes 20 years, 30 years. You know, it might take that long to fully achieve that absolute vision. But we know that within the next 3 to 5 years we've gone all the way to it. But that's, in my definition anyway, that's what I would call success. I guess sustainability is part of that.
How do you select the small businesses that you choose to invest in?
Thankfully, that's not my job. Somebody else does that. Initially, it was like from the community within. So the community, which largely was the Zappos employees, as well as a bunch of other people that lived in their town. About 3 years ago, had a big post-it note wall, so people got a chance to write down on a post-it note what they liked, and then we clustered the group. Tony used to have that on his wall in his palm. Heidi does that very well. She used to do tours every day. So that post-it note wall was like literally everything the community requested. And not all of those things have come to reality because some of them were crazy. Some of them were not. Like, the most requested thing was the Rowland Park, which I'm super excited about. Literally, like next week, it's going to actually open. It's what it was always planned to be, which was a daycare place for dogs, a sleepover place for dogs, a bit of a dog hotel. We have an amazing, talented person who's working for that. So yeah, it was literally just community coming together. So we had yoga studios listed, so yoga studio, healthy stuff, so juice bars, vegan restaurants, vegetarian restaurants, fun stuff like bars and cocktail bars and hangouts, working places like this one, so co-working spaces. So the community kind of came up. Then it was just a case of, okay, this is our laundry list of stuff the community wants. How can we actually find people that are willing to run a business? And the way the small business one typically works is you might be really passionate about opening hairdressing salon and content that. We will fund that as long as you go through a business plan, we talk about it and show you've got some skill as well as passion. Sometimes the skill was lacking a little bit to help with that. But generally it was more passion than skill. But if you've got the passion and you've got some skill, and we have a desire to want to open a hairdressing salon for yourself, we would fund that, and that would be like an interest-free loan, and you'd be able to pay yourself a salary from that loan. The intention being that within 12 months, your business will be stable, and you won't need to have any more funding given to you, and then gradually you start to make a profit, and then those profits are actually paid back to pay off the interest-free loan that you've got, and then once the interest-free loan is paid off, then the profits that you generate are 50-50 shared between you and the Dexter project. So it ends up being a 50-50 joint venture.
Appreciate you only been one for a short amount of time. What are the big learnings already?
Revitalising the community is hard. Doesn't happen overnight. Nobody wants. But you can make a huge impact in a very short space of time if you do it well and you have passionate community. That would be another one. But one of the big ones was don't just invest in passion. I think people kind of have to skill. So you might be really passionate about being a hairdresser, but I've never done it before in my life. Now I open a hairdressing salon and I've got no idea what I'm doing, and customers don't come back. It's not a good business. So that, funding more in skill as well as passion, not just passion. I think. Yeah, it's a thing for me anyway. Coming in as looking out, coming here, I was so excited about the project. I still am. The lofty goals. Some of them are lofty for a purpose. They're audacious. You don't set a goal that you know you can hit. You set a goal that you strive for. And I think some people took it as the gospel literally. An audacious goal was being something that would actually happen in 12 months or 24 months. And that set too high an expectation for the community. And some people were upset that the vision, the fullest version of the vision is in reality already. That's an audacious goal. It's a stretch time. It's not what you can do. So maybe a bit more communication. Setting some expectations. Any other questions?
What time scale are you looking at for success? You want to community grow in years, decades, lifetimes?
So I'm an entrepreneur, so mine's next week.
Good luck.
Tony's the same. Reality. I think it's a realistic reality to expect that in the next 2 or 3 years that the majority of the land and the buildings will be populated with people and businesses doing well. But then the truest fruition of the vision were people in Las Vegas flock to downtown to check it out. People from the Strip come downtown to check it out. People have their offices based downtown because it's a cool place. Residential developers build residential apartment blocks, complexes downtown because it's a cool place. And that could easily be 10 to 20 years. But for us, in terms of what we can control and what we do, it's really focused on that sort of 3 to 5 year timeline. What can we do in this next big push? But who knows? I've been to some cities in America that took 20, 30 years for their downtown area to truly sort of go back to life. It could take that. Hopefully not.
Did you just interview with the former mayor of Austin?
Yeah.
What was their time?
Well, interestingly, with government, it's around term of office. So what he tried to do was, within his term of office, which was 4 years, put in some of the infrastructure, the underlying infrastructure. The biggest investment they made was this massively expensive air conditioning, which showed a huge ice cube thing, that could then drive the air conditioning for all the big buildings and hotels and everything that would actually pop up in downtown Austin. That's what he did in his term. which then laid the foundation for everything that happened thereafter. Yeah, I mean, he just said within 4 years I wanted to do as much as I could, lay foundation for the future, but then also try and inspire like passion for revitalising Austin. I mean, did any of you go to Austin 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Compared to today? I mean, it is. I mean, I've seen the pictures of what it used to look like 20 years ago, and it looks like today you would not recognise the city. How long have you got?
I haven't been before. I've never seen.
But yeah, it's. I mean, it is incredible change that I've seen. Just doing look at it, I wish I'd been there to see it personally. Just listening to
But
pictures.
living in Austin, I'll tell you the problem we did that it was on the scale we built at least 5,000 condos and apartments downtown that were over 95% occupancy rate. The problem is we didn't build any more roads. And so we are actually kind of victims of our own success to a point where now the #1 complaint in Austin is cost of living is rising and traffic is horrible. So that type of thought about infrastructure, not just on the businesses and things, but also what does that then mean to the community at large, something that has to be considered as well.
And one of the things that's going on here now is a real push with the RTC, the transportation system, to try and make separate areas to begin with, but overall, eventually, much more walkable, much more bikeable, to turn some of Maryland Parkway is an area that is in the center, the physical center of the valley. It's one of the older parts of town, and it's a major thoroughfare between the airport, the university, and downtown areas. And there's a real push, a couple of years of analysis and now some funding to go forward and put in a new transportation system there. Take out some of the lanes and put in a central public transportation system and put some of the park back into the parkway. So this is something that's happening at the same time, and eventually what they're looking to do is actually bring that all the way around downtown and loop it back in.
I love the rail system between the airport, the university, and downtown, which is what's on the proposal. Possibly even closing down Fremont Street, making it an entire pedestrian zone with shading and trees and water features and things like that. Would be incredible. That's like the 10-15 year plan of the city. One thing I do struggle with, and I actually try to stay positive in these meetings, is when you're talking to the government and their timeline is like 5, 10, 15 years, but mine is like 5 days. Why does it take 7 years to actually turn on a light rail system? Does it really have to take that long? But I mean, sadly it does. There's a lot of things that the government's going to try and do. Sadly, it just takes a long time.
Just for putting trees on Fremont Street, and
Yeah.
we were walking to the Fremont Commons, so it's so barren here, it's so much concrete. What's the long-term vision there? Are there park, trees?
Not so much a park, but definitely trees. They've just found this tree which will survive. And that's the biggest issue that we have, is we're in the desert. There's no access to water really. Decided to move down. So yeah, they found a tree, I forget the name, but it's beautiful. It's got lots of green leaves, but it is incredibly resistant. You don't have to give it much water at all. So there's plans within the next year on Castle Avenue. They're going to completely redo that. I've seen the renderings of it with trees on either side of both sidewalks. So that will provide natural shade as well as a bit of colour.
I think it would be nice too to bring some of the native plants back into the city. I'm so tired of palms. Palms are not native to this area. They don't give shade. They take a lot of water. But one of the reasons why we're struggling with this too is that Las Vegas developed so fast that they actually changed their environment.
Yep.
When I was a little girl, Las Vegas used to be much hotter than where I grew up, and all of the glass and then all of the use of water and the green. People were there was green everywhere. It was a false environment. The humidity went up, and it used to be cool here at night in the summer, but not anymore. So I would love to have some more greens in this village.
Like I'm from Sydney, very green, very blue. I come here and it's like yellow, beige, grass. Thank God for hiding. I'm sure people, the next discussion will be able to have this having a jump on plan this afternoon. But we have a workshop to get through, so we're going to talk about actualizing your purpose. How many of you can, like, just bang off the top of your head now and tell me what your life's purpose is in a few words?
Oh,